What is up, bitches? Welcome to another episode of Live on 3. I am your host, djWHEAT, and joining me, as always, Sir Scoots and Slasher, who is looking quite dapper today. But, gentlemen, the world is falling around us, and Angel Munoz is getting back in it. We have so much to talk about here today. How are y'all doing?
Big show, big show. Slasher late as always. Marcus, what else is new? But this is cute and all. This is fun. Little memory lane. That theme song, Marcus, still gets me right in the gut, man. I love that shit.
Blood pumps, yeah.
But fuck it, Ian. It's my show now. I'm the captain, Marcus. Re-rack the goddamn show. Let's do this right. Welcome to the Breakdown, episode 9. I am Sir Scoots. It is March 11th, 2020. We got a barn burner of an episode. I do have djWHEAT with me. Not a Live on 3 episode. You didn't hit a time machine there, folks. Many, many Wednesdays ago, Live on 3. We're going to get right into it, though. We do have Marcus on the first half of the show. Going to talk to him about his life, but I also want to hit him with a couple of our news topics. Again, we're going to try to do regular interviews when they make sense for the theme of the week. Marcus, old-time friend of mine, now the director of creators of all things Twitch. Hello, my friend. How are you? Welcome to the show.
I'm great, man. Thanks for having me. That was fun. I thought maybe we were in the hot tub time machine for a second there, but yeah, you pulled me out of it. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, freaking. And again, no Slasher, you know. I guess we should have invited him, maybe. I don't know. But yeah.
He told me he'd be watching. So hi, Slasher.
Right. Hey, Slasher. How are you, brother?
I missed you. Call me. Call me. Let's do lunch. So let's get right into it, Marcus. First off, that was fun to do a little Live on 3 bit. I know we've been talking about bringing it back. You've been talking about it. Then you got really, really busy. You moved home to Nebraska, built a house, moved the whole family home out of the Bay Area, back home. What are you up to these days? How's life in general before we get to the topics? Life's kind of crazy. Yeah, all those things you mentioned have been, it's been a joy to put Mini-Wheat back in school. He was homeschooled in San Francisco, and I've gotten a chance to start streaming again. And then, we might talk about it later, but this thing called the coronavirus kind of hit, and it's sort of like it's imagine you've got your Google Maps open and you think you know the destination you're going, and then it's like, oh, we've just realized there's a detour, so you need to go left now and then go all the way around. Well, that's kind of what things feel like right now, right? Unfortunately, we did have to cancel TwitchCon Amsterdam as a result of what is going on across the globe. And so, it's just been interesting times, Scoots, right? Because there are now things that we can't do, right? E3 would have been right there on my radar, but that one is unfortunately now not happening as of this morning. So what I am doing is at Twitch, as you mentioned, a director of creator development, still trying to help creators in whatever way I can, right? Like, this isn't necessarily like setting up their OBS or getting their XSplit working, but more so like, how can we help creators thinking about their career over the next year and 3 years and 5 years? And I've got a real vested interest in sort of ensuring that the industry of streaming remains healthy, that people have like job options beyond streaming if they choose to go that way, and working and helping with talent. And so, as you know, that's something that I've done throughout kind of my entire esports career. So it's been a lot of fun to do that, but I'm just also trying to live life. And I've recently gotten into a love that I haven't talked about a whole lot, but I've been playing a lot of pinball and picked up my first 2 pinball machines. And so that's been a lot of fun, like kicking my family's ass and teaching them how to play, but damn, they're getting good. So I got to watch out. So
you got to get that Addams Family machine, man. Got to get Addams Family. So let's talk about the pandemic. It is now a pandemic. The CDC, officially made it a pandemic today, and they also dropped a public service announcement that we all should watch. So let's go ahead and watch that as well. And then
game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do? Oh God, we're gonna die. Don't you understand? We're all gonna die!
Pretty much sums it up right about now, huh?
Oh shit! Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so directly affects you. You know, you did mention, you know, obviously a lot of mainstream events have been canceling. South by Southwest, now E3. Before that, GDC. You guys had to make that tough decision. You know, TwitchCon Amsterdam was going to be a big European presence for you guys. Obviously, Amsterdam, great fun city. What was kind of the Twitch thought process? And obviously, I know you work very day to day on all things TwitchCon. So, like, how is that for the team? Any plans to do something different instead? Kind of fill us in with what you can talk about.
I mean, what I can talk about is that it was a hard decision, as you can imagine, right? This isn't just Twitch. This isn't just GDC or South by Southwest, right? These are difficult decisions, especially, right? They affect the attendees, they affect the vendors, they affect the community members that wanted to come, they affect the ambassadors that have been chosen for this. So, I mean, it really doesn't matter what event you're talking about. Like, these are really, really tough decisions for any teams. And if there's one thing that I would, you know, say to the audiences out there is that, you know, these people are just keeping your best interest in mind. And obviously, as you can imagine, a lot of it is driven by like what other companies and organizations are doing as well. We also are owned by Amazon, right? So they rightfully so have a say because they want to keep people safe as well, including their own employees and creators, etc. So it's been hard because, as you can imagine, if you know, Scooch, you were writing a book and you're like, hey, here's my book. It's you know, going to be 1,000 pages and I've got 600 pages written, and I like put it through the shredder. That would suck, right? Like all that work that you just did, it feels a little bit that way, right? So as far as like plans, nothing's been announced yet. I'm not really at liberty to talk about it. But you know, as you've seen other organizations, like everyone's looking for what solutions are there, right? I think like to kind of like sidetrack a little bit, like the streaming industry is in an interesting spot because the coronavirus does something that is like keeping people indoors. So guess what? As a content creator, you can do that from your house. Guess what? As a viewer, you can do that from your house. So like in a very weird and sort of obtuse way, there is something positive to take out of all of this. And that is that this sort of quarantine that we're dealing with, either imposed or self-imposed, that means that, right, digital content and the consumption of that content is going to be something that a lot of people are probably going to do to find news, to get entertainment, etc. So I'm not worried that much about sort of this world that we live in because that's kind of like the perfect climate for everyone, right? I mean, to put it into to retrospect, like, right, this happens in the winters. People are home from vacation, they get snowed in, right? Like more viewers come for more creators. And it's like, it's kind of similar. And I don't mean to make light of the situation, but hopefully to like give a positive spin on sort of how this is all affecting us.
Yeah, it's a little bit of that, like, you know, silver lining in a cloud, right? If there's one positive. And Rod, speaking of Slasher, several weeks ago when it was still kind of isolated in China and it was a China problem, he was on, I want to say, Yahoo Finance, one of those news shows, and he was kind of talking about the effects on the Chinese economy and the cancellation of the Overwatch homestands over there. But he kind of alluded to the same thing, is like, there's all the negative, but the bonus is more people stay home, the more they watch the streaming services, the more they play video games, and that kind of bumps the numbers up on that side. That maybe you know, a little artificial inflation on that because more people are home, like you said, right? How do you feel? I know you had a long stream and you kind of had a whole talk to your chat kind of about the virus. What are your thoughts on it? Are we over? Is the media like panicking? Are they causing us to panic? Or is this a general concern in your world?
Yeah, so I've actually done 2 of them now. And I originally did one on Monday as sort of an effort to I was really interested in having a global conversation, right? One of the amazing things about a platform like Twitch is that, someone is watching from Italy where they are now under emergency lockdown and they don't have to leave their house in order to call me up and contribute to the show. So being able to sort of do that and hear from people who worked at MSP and who are from the Netherlands and who are experiencing things in Germany and talk to someone in Australia today, I find that super fascinating. So I am going to continue to do that. And you can find those VODs over on my channel. But to answer your question, Scoots, I have been very upfront and open about my position on the coronavirus. And I think that that's good to provide that context. First and foremost, I'm scared shitless and I am being extremely cautious. But when I say that, I say the following is that I would rather laugh at myself in 3 months than regret it forever. And so I'm not suggesting that you need to be as overly cautious as I might be. I'm reading everything. I've been following this since the early reports and that came out of Wuhan. I've obviously taken even more of an interest as it's affected the United States and now even hit close to home and has been identified in my son's school district. So, I want to do these streams to keep people aware, to have an intelligent and respectful discussion about what's happening, and also in a way to document it for myself, right? To be able to look back on this after however long it takes and go, this is what people were feeling. This is how we were reacting. Maybe this was something we weren't thinking about that later on, 2 weeks later, became a thing. So I'm worried, because I also have a wife who has severe asthma. And I also have older parents who, if they were to contract this, they are in the age demographic in which the mortality rates are higher. So I don't regret, and I don't have any problem if people want to be like, "Wheat, you're out of your freaking mind. This is stupid. You're overreacting." Cool. I'll be the first to admit, I'll get on Twitter and be like, "Yep, you were right. I overreacted." But right now, I'm feeling pretty justified in a lot of my comments and in a lot of my own efforts. And I don't want to feel that way. But again, I just want to help unify people to get the right information, to have a world perspective on this, because we are so dealing with this either in the US or in Italy or in Australia. And I think that has been really amazing to me, is to hear what other people are going through and what they're hearing and how their media is handling it. Because right now, 75% of what we're seeing is coronavirus in the United States. The other 25% is the fact that it's an election year. Real weird shit to be going on, dude. Real weird stuff. So, do I think we're overhyping this? No. I think we need to get as much information out there as possible. I think that it's very clear based off the events that are being canceled, based off of some of the quarantines that are happening, that, we're still in for a ride. The race just started, ladies and gentlemen. So
yeah, and I think again, I think your tact of better safe than sorry is the win-win of the situation, right? I feel the exact same way. If I get it, I'm probably going to be fine. I'll be sick for a couple weeks. I'll get through it. But I have a 90-year-old mom who has emphysema, so she is lung capacitated, if you will, right? She already has a pre-existing condition. So, it could literally kill her, right? At one point, I was canceling my own trip to Gamers for Giving, which is a charity event that Gamers Outreach does every year in Michigan. We have since canceled the entire event anyway, but I was like, I'm not going, guys, because if I catch something there and bring it home to mom, fuck me, right?
Exactly
fuck me.
It.
And I think that's what a lot of people need to kind of have that next level of thought is, I'm a young buck. I'm going to be fine. I've been sick before. But who else are you going to come in contact to that you might actually pass it on to, that you do real damage to, right?
You're absolutely right, Scoots. I mean, like, we can do everything ourselves to like protect, but this is a human problem, right? Like, we can't predict how other humans are going to act or the precautions that they may or may not take. So I think to your point, they even said earlier, like, we're at a point now where it's likely that everyone will know someone who either is related to or has a friend that will have a death related to the coronavirus. Like, it doesn't seem like with the amount of deaths there are that that could even be the case, but it's possible, right? Again, would love to look back and look at this clip and go like, we was spitting some craziness, but at the end of the day, I urge people to just not put themselves in a position where they're like carrying that regret forever. So
exactly, like I said, better safe than sorry. Stay home if you're not
better
feeling
safe
well.
than sorry.
Keep everyone else home if they're not feeling well. So a couple other things. I think Jason just told me in my ear that NAB is officially canceled.
NAB got canceled? Really?
Did you say NAB, Jason? Yes, NAB got canceled. And what I had read this morning was that ESL Pro League, which was going to take place with teams in Malta, has now been shifted to online only. No, because Malta has some cases now. So the government of Malta is locking down in and out of that country a little bit more. So
Scoots,
it sounds like that's going to go online now.
I have one prediction that will, I think, benefit esports, right? Because there's no doubt, like, right, over the last few years, the big thing's been, we're filling stadiums. We've got like these massive World Cups happening, and this is awesome, right? And we're going to get back to that, right? Just because we have a pause, and that doesn't mean that we're not going to go back to that. So like right now, the sort of like visionary in me is like, it's the time for grassroots to shine again, right? Like, we live in a world of online gaming where it is hypothetically possible for us to still be bringing competitions, to be doing these things. And like, yes, there might be pauses, but we don't have to stop the community efforts of doing a Diabolical Cup or throwing another Counter-Strike competition. So like, I really hope that this sort of like brings some life back to at home, grassroots, fuck it, we'll do it live type stuff that could, you and I know firsthand, like how beneficial that can be to communities, to esports, etc. Like, I really hope that that's something that comes out of it.
Well, it's like you said, we have something very easy to fall back on, how we all started, right? Whereas what happens if the NBA starts canceling basketball games, right? They're going to fall back on games without fans, but then what happens when they can't even fill, like they don't want anyone in the arena, right? So at least our sports have this kind of old world to fall back on.
Right.
And I think you're right. I think we'll get through it. Everything will come back eventually once we get through the pandemic. So let's move on. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about Overwatch League, not so much about, franchise system, good, bad. We could go around and around on that kind of stuff. But I wanted to get your kind of feedback on this ban system they put in place, because you're a competitive integrity kind of guy, ladder guy versus pro league kind of guy. So to bring you up to speed, if you're not familiar, they do Overwatch bans every week for the league that they ban based on most used heroes, then get randomized and they ban. But then they decided to start banning on their ladder. That's cool. What's not cool, and is what I want your thought process on, two different sets of bans, not the same. And then we've got some players who tweeted about it saying, kind of a bad idea. Now it's even worse place for us to practice, because pros do go into this matchmaking system to work on aim, work on tactics, work on movement mechanics, all sorts of stuff, right, when they're not scrimmaging. What are your thoughts on two separate bans?
I can drop F-bombs on this show, right?
Yes, please do.
Well, that's fucking stupid. Like, why? How does that make any sense at all? And I feel for these players, right? Like that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Now, let's play the role of like, well, what is Blizzard's thought process through that, or what is the Owl League's thought process? And maybe that's like a way to gather more data based off of, right? But like, then you're talking about gathering data in a ladder capacity, which is not the pro, meta or necessarily. And so it just, it doesn't make sense to me. And like, frankly, wouldn't it be more interesting? Like, would you as a ladder player take more interest if your bands matched up to what was being played in the pro league, right? And maybe you're like, oh, maybe I'll tune into OWL to see how these teams are dealing with the fact that Lucio and Winston are banned from this thing, right? Like that seems to make a lot of sense to me. So, no, it makes zero
Weird, right?
sense to me. Yeah, it's very weird.
And again, like we've always, like, forever in esports, whenever there's been conversations about pro modes for a game or a different division of the game for the pros, it's always been the mantra, we want the pros and the regular players to play the exact same game because they help each other. If the kid at home is playing the exact same game as the pros he's watching, it gives him a path, right? Of like, oh, but if it's a totally different game, then it's like, oh, I don't even play that game, So it's just, in the land of like Valorant coming their way, right? That is going to knock on the door of Overwatch, like it's going to knock on Counter-Strike's door a little bit. These kind of decisions just like push your player base away from your game. It just makes no sense to me. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah. And if you think about it in relation to, like, if you apply the same thing, let's use StarCraft 2, right? Like, here's the map pool for every competition that's going to come out. We've also banned that same map pool from, so you can't even practice with it. That it makes no sense. One does not lead to the other. And if anything, you would think that this is an aspirational moment to like create a sense of like, I'm playing in the same ways that the pros are, just like you mentioned with the pro mods, et cetera. So really doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And I find it even harder pill to swallow because it's like, it's not like you don't have 20 years of like history to look at like why this might be a bad idea. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, just a weird one. That's a weird one. Let's move on to a game that we're both excited about. I know you're really excited about it. You dusted you dusted off your microphone for this one. Let's start with a little bit of djWHEAT doing a little bit of shoutcasting. Let's start with
like one of the biggest. That kind of sucks. He was going to try to rocket jump his way. Oh, we got the ever so famous mouse shake. When you know that a bunch of people are watching you and you fuck up and so you shake your mouth. God damn it, I've missed Arena FPS. Where you been? Overwatch, you haven't fucking been doing for me. You're pretty fucking boring. Apex, your movement was decent, but you're not in an Arena FPS. God damn it, it feels good to be home again.
Are we home again?
Dude. So much. I think like you talk to any pro, right? Like, and this is where I think it gets real interesting, right? Like Arena FPS players, specifically Quake players, right? We've been chasing the dragon for a long time, Scoots, right? Like they tried to give us Painkiller. They tried to give us Shoot Mania. They tried to give us Quake Champions. And the problem is that Quake 3 set a bar so damn high because the engine was phenomenal for what the game was. And so here comes a game, Diabolical, that immediately you play this and you're like, oh shit, this feels good, right? Like I moved my mouse 3 inches and I'm like, holy shit, like we're here, this is it. And then you start playing it and then you're like, oh my God, this feels like the Arena FPS engines that made us fall in love with it in the first place. And to go one step further, like the team, the entire Good Studio, they like actually have put different like pitch and yaw changes in there. So like if you want this to feel more like Quake 3, put this value in and it will, and it does. If you want it to feel more like Fortnite, you can put this in and it will, and it does. So it's like, oh man, it's like a brick to the face because it's amazing that this game feels as awesome as it does. It's amazing that like you can pick it up and feel like you were just transported years ago where we were playing Quake 3 and on servers together. And like, frankly, the team that's working on it, they know this game type and this style of game really well. So like shit, man, I can't say enough good things about it. Like it gets my blood pumping in a major way. And I think like what I said at the end there is true. Like I've not felt that way. Like I have had fun. Don't get me wrong with many BRs and shooters, and I have had fun, but like this game has gotten me to come back. And this game has been like, oh man, I got 30 minutes between my next meeting. Like I can pop in and I can play a couple games, right? Like that to me, that says a lot just based off my own sort of behaviors and my own ways that I have been playing games and what I like to play, etc. So, obviously it still comes down to player base, right? Like, are we going to get all the players in? Are we going to see? And what I really say to that, Scoots, is like what the good studio has done well is first off, that engine is it's a beautiful engine. Second of all, they've come up with an art style that I feel like is acceptable by the old generation and the new generation. And that is something that I feel like is much, much more difficult to actually accomplish. And, I quite like it, right? Like a lot of pros from the old will be like, this looks like I'm playing a Pikmin Quake game, right? Because like Quake in its full engine looked nice and gritty and stuff, but everyone actually on a competitive level played it sort of soft and muddy just to get that ultimate smoothness out of it. So you've already got that kind of built in. Anyway, I'm over the moon about this, man. It's great.
Okay, so much like StarCraft is a challenging, thinky game, right? As I always say, it limits the casual player base from the get-go when you've got harder games, right? So if they've made the game, if the game is solid, the modes are solid, everything about it is solid, how do they tackle that problem of getting mainstream or closer to mainstream acceptance of gamers to play what is often a very frustrating, no participation award trophy kind of game? Like it can be brutal to play arena shooters when you're not good, right? So how do they tackle that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I've got a couple different answers. First of all, right, like I think that games like Fortnite, games like Overwatch, they've done a good job of like bringing new FPS players into the fold, right? Because like previously it was either a BR or it was like Counter-Strike and like, not saying that those aren't okay, but right, it brought the arcadiness of FPSs back a little bit, right? So I think that just because of kind of the status quo of where we're at, you've got to imagine that like I've seen some Fortnite bros have amazing aim, right? Like amazing aim. But you know what they lack? Some movement, right? So what I hope is that these players will at least give it a chance to see like, oh, wow, right? Because like what makes these great players is like people who like, wow, this game is fun. I want to get better at it. I want to beat more people at it. I want to rank higher in it, right? So like, fuck, if you're really looking for that, a game like Diabolical is the best place because you're gonna never hit the ceiling ever. It won't happen. Like I would hope that like some of the Fortnite players are gonna like play this and be like, damn, like I don't have to build anything. Like this is fun. I can like use this natural aim that I've got. And so, like I don't have the answer to that because if I did, I'd work on the marketing team of Diabolical and every other fucking FPS marketing team in the world because I think it's the hardest challenge they got. If you want to know one of the smartest marketing strategies that I have seen so far is Slasher playing against new school FPS players.
$100.
Because it brings them in, it shows them the competitive aspect of like what this game can be, and it gives them a challenge. And believe it or not, I'm like sitting back, I'm like, yo, this shit's brilliant because that's a great way to get right these Fortnite players and their fans to look at this game and to do so. My hat's off to everyone who's like kind of working and all that. Slasher did lose, by the way, the other day to a Fortnite player whose fucking rail was a crazy. But when I watched him move, he looked like a little baby crawling around the, so like, I laughed, but I'm like, I was even in I forget who it was now. I apologize, but I was in his channel. I was like, bro, if you could learn to move, you'd be fucking good at it. You'd be really good at this game. So maybe that will happen, right? Maybe this slow burn of the betas and the excitement around every weekend is really a great strategy to get us to where people want to try it out. The next part is, Scoots, is it's ranked, right? Is like, can this game measure people based off of their performance and make sure that they're matched up with people? Because, like, frankly, when you're a good Quake, Diabolical player, whatever, you don't want to play shit tier players like you do in other games, right? In PUBG, I want to play shit tier players all the time. I don't want to play god tier players because I'm not a god tier player. But like, right, when you're a shit tier player in these games, you want to play shit tier people because that's what's going to improve you the quickest, right? You want to play someone just a little bit better than you. So I don't know, man. I'm excited. Is that a problem that can be easily solved? I don't, but like, I'll do everything I can to bring awareness and hopefully get people to look at this. And as it moves closer to the esports, big stage, and people can really see the excitement. The golden frag, by the way, is incredible. So I don't know. I'm really, yeah.
Well, I'm excited for it. Definitely excited to hear you doing some casting of it. So hope we hear more of that. Yeah. And yeah, I think what like Fish Sticks is doing with getting the cups going and Slasher having fun. Again, it's probably the right organic way to kind of push this game and keep growing this game. So knock on wood that it continues to kick ass. I know you've got an 11:30 meeting, so I won't hold you.
I do.
I'm going to give you final thoughts, wrap up your part of the show. Marcus, thank you again for coming on. What do you want to tell the world?
Yeah, I mean, thanks for watching, supporting the breakdown, Do Not Peek, all of the esports efforts that are going on out there. You can find me on my stream, twitch.tv/djWHEAT, which is now almost a coronavirus stream for the next foreseeable future. I do play games over there too, but as you mentioned, I really want to support Diabolical. I had a lot of fun. I kind of felt like I was sitting in a seat, like 16 years later that I was in. So expect me casting, and you know what, doing some like old school casting, right? Like that was the thing that I especially liked, is that I didn't have to, necessarily shout out a sponsor other than Juke. Good job. But right, like I got to shoutcast like I used to shoutcast in like the late 90s, early 2000s. And that's what excites me. I want to bring that back again. And so I hope that you'll follow along and tune in. And, other than that, thanks for having me, DNP crew. And yeah, I hope you have a great show.
Cool. Thank you, brother. Much love, as always, to Marcus. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got a lot more to talk about. Great having Marcus on the show. Really like that he's getting back into doing some casting as well. Be right back after the break. Second half of the show coming your way. Welcome back to the second half of the breakdown. Again, big shout outs to Marcus for coming on and helping me with the first half. It's always nice to talk to someone else. I get a little bored up here just giving my opinion, so nice to bounce back and forth. Again, we're going to try to do that on a fairly regular basis. Maybe not every week, but every week where it makes sense that I can fit someone in that can kind of fit the subject matter at hand, right? So before we move on to the topics, though, I also wanted to point out, I didn't want to do it while Marcus was on because he had to go, but I could tell he's really serious about Diabolical. I can always tell he's serious about a game when he doesn't want to play the game with me, right? Because he likes to win, right? So the other day I strolled into his Discord and him and TGM were chit-chatting and they were playing or getting ready to play, I think. And I was installing it and messing with my egg and stuff. And I could just tell the vibe from Marcus was like, yeah, you're not playing with us yet, Scott. Like, you need to play the game for a while before you come in with us. He doesn't like to lose, so I've had it with him in Battle Royale. He's like, yeah, I don't know, Scott. Maybe you shouldn't play with us today. Anyway, so I got that vibe on Diabolical. I'm like, it's okay. I won't even ask you to play, Marcus. I get it. Anyway, I'll just go back to my factory, right? I'll work on my fuel consumption at Satisfactory. No one can yell at me about that. Exactly, get good, as AJ says. All right, let's get into it. Second half of the show. A lot of quick little topics I just want to touch base on. A lot of esports I don't necessarily watch on a regular basis, but I think it's nice to give them a nod once in a while. This is one of them. Yes, there is a Gears of War esports. It has been going on for a very long time through all the different variations of their game. This latest version seems to have a nice little regular base. Big event in Mexico. Something about Gears of War and Mexico. You know, different countries grab different games, right? Like you could think of Scandinavia region of Europe and Counter-Strike. You could think of CIS region and Dota, the Asian regions, various places like League of Legends, etc. But something about Gears of War and Mexico. They love this game, right? So big event down there. Local team, Fire and Ice, didn't win the whole thing, but had a hell of a run, so I wanted to give a nod to them. Local fan favorites, if you will. They, huge upset. Again, didn't win the whole thing, but based on the upsets they did along the way, they might as well have won the whole thing. They weren't expected to do well. They kicked some ass. That's really, really cool to see. And then Team Reciprocity out of Las Vegas. Well, one of their headquarters is in Vegas. They were the winners of the event. Took home the championship, if you will. But again, we often, and I'm part of this as well, we kind of get in our own little esports bubble of like the few games we care about and that we read about every day. And I continually am amazed at how many esports are growing and having legs to them, if you will, right? I mean, years ago it was just a couple, Counter-Strike and fighting games and Quake and then StarCrafts, and just every year another game or two kind of sneaks in and holds, right? Rocket League, Rainbow Six, Gears of War, still, after all these years, a couple different versions of a shitty game. This one seems to be all right. So, nice to see. Again, congratulations, Reciprocity and Fire and Ice for almost winning. I wouldn't say it's, tier one, like greatest esport ever, but again, it's got a fan base, it's got people watching, so, it's working out. Again, I just know that it's been a long slog for the Gears family, if you will. Another event that happened over the weekend, this one also hit with some coronavirus issues. Mortal Kombat had an event, Final Kombat. They had a last chance qualifier that got canceled because of the virus, and then they did hold the final event for the pros. That happened last week. SonicFox, I wanted to point out, SonicFox yet again won an event, but I like pointing out that SonicFox don't give a fuck. SonicFox says what SonicFox wants to say whenever he's got a microphone in his face, right? He has the presence to use his fame, his reach, his kind of draw to push things that are important to him. So let's just go ahead and play a little bit of what he had to say after he won, because I think this is cool shit.
Overall, you are the champion once again. What would you like to say to all of your fans and to everybody around the world?
All right, this one was for you, all of my supporters, all my LGBTQ plus supporters, trans rights. Yeah, all the MK people that came out, all my friends and family, you guys are all family. Honestly, shout outs to Ninja Killer and their entire family coming out to support them too. Ninja Killer is a phenomenal player. If you stop talking me, can we get games, please? But honestly, I'm just really, really happy that I can be myself up here and show everybody why I love Joker so much. So I did this for all the people that I wanted to show how I can just really express my eccentricity, if you will, and my creativeness with the maniac that is Joker. So thank you so much. Awesome. Furry community. Mwah.
Thank you, SonicFox. On behalf of Warner Brothers, on behalf of NetherRealm, and on behalf of our champion, SonicFox, good night.
Bo Bernie.
And good game.
Oh, poor Josh. Josh is the interviewer. It's always the worst when someone goes to grab the mic. But, you know, again, whether you like his politics, whether you like his lifestyle, not what we're talking about today. Just, I love the fact that SonicFox just puts it out there. He's always willing to put it out there. Whatever he wants to talk about, he uses that platform and speaks his mind, right? Does it get him some haters as well as some fans? Sure. But I just love that he doesn't give the cookie cutter interviews, right? Post-game stuff. Oh, I'd like to thank everyone and thank God. Like, it just tells it how it is. We need more of that, right? It's him being real. And again, talking about liking to be eccentric with the tech he uses Joker on and how he plays the game and the things he's looking for in-game. I just think it's a neat individual. And I just love, as someone who's outspoken himself, I love when people are outspoken and they feel comfortable being themselves, right? So props to you, SonicFox, for another win, but also, you know, keeping the platform alive and well with your thoughts. Moving on to the next little topic, Call of Duty. Hey, Call of Duty decided that Battle Royales are a thing, although they've already had a Battle Royale. They have another one. Warzone just dropped yesterday. An interesting take on the Battle Royale genre, to say the least. Obviously, it's kind of your standard BR. Bunch of people dropping in one map. Last one alive wins, but they've tweaked it a little bit. A couple slightly different mechanics. I haven't played it yet. Watched a bunch of people playing it yesterday. Definitely going to probably try it this weekend. There's Plunder mode, which is kind of Battle Royale with an objective where your team is supposed to collect money along the way as well. Team with the most amount of money kind of wins the match, if you will. Interesting mechanic on the revive. When you die the first time, you actually end up in a prison scenario, 1v1, and you and another guy who dies have to 1v1. He who wins the 1v1 basically can drop in again. So it's like kind of a respawn once, kind of a neat mechanic. So again, Battle Royale, but twisted. Some people are saying that they like the gunplay. Some people are saying they don't like the gunplay. There's no attachments and all that other kind of stuff that you scavenge for. You start with a default gun, I believe, so you don't drop empty-handed. That's a little different. So at least you're not weaponless, and that first RNG scramble right out of the airplane isn't so hectic. Again, I don't know too much about it. Just watched a few streams and read a little bit. Definitely looks interesting, but will it be... And it's free, so you can't beat that. Standalone, free to play. You don't need to buy anything. I don't know what their long-term monetization is to keep it going. Will it kind of be big right now because everyone's got it, and in a week it dies and no one plays it anymore? I don't know. We'll see. Very interesting. It had cross-play available as well. That's always interesting, right? So, but we'll see. Definitely got to give it a shot myself. Look like Call of Duty in that sense. But yeah, we'll just see how it plays out. But again, another BR. Maybe we've had enough of these. Is it different enough, right? Is it tweak it all enough? I don't know. Thought it was interesting, worth chatting about briefly. Before we get to the second half of the show, you know what time it is. Counter-Strike time. We need some sort of Counter-Strike segment music, Jason. It's Counter-Strike. It's Counter-Strike. Or not. The one sound effect we have is the Inception.
Yeah, we'll work on this.
We got to work on that. We got to work on our soundboard. Holy shit. All right. Or just use a bighorn. All right, Counter-Strike. A couple different things we want to talk about. We're going to start out with Flashpoint news. And again, this is not necessarily the place you're going to come and get the latest scores and all the roster stuff necessarily, right? We're not digging into every match every week. It's more overarching industry news when it comes to these topics, if you've never tuned in. So Flashpoint news, we now have the 7th and 8th partnered teams. So in Flashpoint, reminder, it is a partner and open league. Partner teams buy in $2 million. Call it a franchise league, call it whatever you want. I don't like the franchise term because it's not really a franchise. Franchise is when something's completely closed, or a franchise restaurant where you buy the franchise to the region. Anyway, so it's quasi-franchisey. So we have these 8 teams, although I don't think Fun Plus Phoenix is really officially confirmed yet. I don't know if we've seen a press release from them, but Envy has been announced as a buy-in team. And now Fun Plus Phoenix, which if you don't know who the hell they are, League of Legends organization, they won League of Legends Worlds last year. So they're a pretty big deal in their own right when it comes to League. So these are the 8 teams that bought in. They own the league, they run the league, they get rev share on the league, as do their players. And then the grand plan was there's to be 10 partnered teams. In lieu of that, though, they want to have a 12-team season total. So in lieu of that, we have these 4, right? They did some qualifications. Orglis won a qualifier, and Big won a qualifier. And then Big then got invited to EPL because Heroic is the roster for one of the teams now moving to Flashpoint. So that opened up Heroic's spot in EPL. So EPL invited Big. So Big is taking the Pro League spot of EPL. The other team is taking the Flashpoint spot. And then on top of that, we think, again, not confirmed, the 11th and 12th team, Havu and Chaos, because those 2 teams did the next best in the qualifiers that Orglis and Big won. Exactly. I feel like I'm fucking Charlie up here right now, right? So there you have it. There you fucking have it, right? Yes, I believe they received an invite, but Chaos received an invite because they got like 2nd place in their qualifier. I just haven't seen an official clarification from Chaos or from Flashpoint that the bottom 2 teams are in. But that's kind of the general understanding is they've been invited. Okay, so that's that. So now we have possibly our Flashpoint teams for the season. On top of that, Flashpoint as well, hit by the bug, canceled their playoffs and finals in Sweden at the end of this first season. They're going to do it all online or do something studio only, no fans. So Flashpoint got hit by it. And then last piece of Flashpoint news, Dignitas had a visa issue with Halzerk. So now Guardian, ex-Na'Vi, is coming in to be a stand-in for Dignitas. So we got one old school player replacing the new school player on the old school roster of Dignitas for Flashpoint. Okay. Jesus Christ, man. It's like, I don't fucking know. And then on top of that, last piece of Flashpoint news. Here's a little Dignitas love. So this whole thing kicks off tomorrow. Flashpoint does. Tomorrow they do their seeding show. Remember, they're doing something different where the players will be involved in who plays in what group against who. So that show happens tomorrow. And then the actual tournament or the league fires up and starts Friday. So all this talk about Flashpoint and EPL for the last couple months, it is time. This shit is starting up. Flashpoint starts this week. EPL starts next week. So now we can actually get into this Counter-Strike. These two leagues that are basically turning into online leagues, if you will, through obviously no fault of their own. And again, as Marcus and I talked about, at least we have the ability to fall back into what we did forever. Play online video games, right? Broadcast them online. At least we can still do this stuff. Okay. That's all my Flashpoint news. I'm just double checking. Yeah, big out. Copenhagen Flames in. Visa issues starting Thursday and Friday. Okay. Now, next piece of Counter-Strike news. The minor teams are all locked in for the minor scenarios now. ESL ran all their qualifiers over the week, or two, I should say. So we now have who those teams are, and it is a hell of a bracket to look at, folks. Obviously, you want to look at the middle green. That is what is lined up to be our minor situation, which what is still in limbo for all of us now is, yeah, great graphic from Reddit. Shout out, I think we even put it up there. Yeah, shout out to Matt. He does these every so often when it comes to the majors and minors because it gets kind of a clusterfuck. So that kind of tells you exactly how it's working out. Now, again, what is a big topic that is being discussed is what will Brazil do about the coronavirus themselves? Will they start to do restrictions? Will they do travel bans? How will the virus hit that country? And then, therefore, how will they react to live events? Obviously, the minors and majors all take place in Brazil, right? So we're kind of waiting to hear, is it going to be player only or business as usual, no change? Or will they do player only in the venue, no fans? Will they postpone the whole damn thing? Don't know what ESL is going to do. Don't know what Brazil is going to do yet. But it's definitely something that's being talked about behind the scenes. And on top of that, a couple other quick little hits. Na'Vi, number one team in the world right now. They have taken the title from Astralis this week on Half-Life TV's rankings. They are the new number one. Nice to see. I think we all knew it was going to happen. They are very close points-wise with Astralis. So depending on how either of these two teams do the next couple events, they might ping-pong back and forth because they're just points apart from each other right now. But that was great to see. And then, we didn't make a graphic this time, but last weekend, 950,000 concurrent players of Overwatch. Jesus.
No. Bad, Scott.
Bad.
Bad.
I just want to walk away. I feel really disappointed now myself. No. Counter-Strike set another record this last weekend. Weekend before, 933 concurrent players. Oh, he called me Biden. Dust. That is not fucking funny. That is not I can't even do a Biden impersonation, but I'm going to try. So 20 grand more this weekend than last weekend, concurrent active players. So 955, even closer to that $1 million mark. So again, another good week for Counter-Strike all around. Our leagues are firing back up. And my last piece of Counter-Strike news is EPL starts next week as well. Like I said, both these leagues are going to battle in. And then this just happened while we were live, actually, or right before we went live. So Malta has some confirmed cases of the virus. Malta is where Pro League was going to take place, studio in Malta and venue in Malta. So the government's starting to crack things down. So ESL is cracking down. So it looks like we're going online for Season 11. I imagine the casters will probably go to Cologne and work out of ESL's home studio to do the match side. So the broadcast side, analyst desk, etc., happens probably in Cologne. Players stay home, and then as you saw in that tweet, Denver has been canceled, and they'll do something in Europe for the finals of the event. Again, the shit's heading everywhere. Whether everyone's overreacting or not. This is going to have a global economic impact on esports for sure, on gaming for sure. And again, like Mark and I talked about, maybe a little bit of silver lining. Some viewership might go up on some stuff, and gameplay might go up on some stuff. But obviously, all these events being canceled, mainstream as well as gaming and esports, big hit. South by Southwest, we talked about a little bit with Marcus. But what South by Southwest is saying now is they've actually also laid off 1/3 of their full-time workforce, right? Like South by Southwest's sole business is throwing that event every year, right? You don't throw an event, you're like that's bad. Like that, if you're an event company and you don't throw an event. So really, very scary stuff. I know we're backtracking to South by Southwest, but that's indicative of a problem. They're not giving out refunds because they probably can't afford to, and they're leaning into their terms of service that says they don't have to give out refunds, and they're laying off people. So scary shit, right? Yeah, scary shit. All right, so that's Counter-Strike. Unfortunate about Pro League. Unfortunate about Flashpoint because now we don't get to see. I was very excited to see these two league products compete head-to-head, right? Production value, all that stuff that they've been kind of talking about, especially on the Flashpoint side, how they were going to be bigger and better and different and new. And now they've kind of got a little bit of the rug pulled out from under them. They can't do their event in Sweden. They've got to scramble on how they do their stuff. So it's unfortunate, right? It's very unfortunate with Overwatch, right? Their entire move home season of their homestands has just been fucking shit on, right? That league has enough issues, right? It didn't need this virus to make it any harder for them. Anyway, all right. Remember, okay, we'll answer some questions at the end of the show. So if you have any questions, in chat, DN Peak, so it highlights for Tyler and the gang to grab, and Jason will hit me with some questions. The last topic of the show that we always have to do right here. This. Let's go for the desk pop, folks. Let's show the desk pop.
Warship inbound.
Bitch, say I ain't got money. Say I ain't got money. God damn.
Desk pop.
What the fuck?
Desk pop. What the fuck is you're an idiot is what the fuck.
I swear to God, I just emptied the mag.
Fuck that guy.
I swear to God, I emptied the mag. But the mag is still in the gun, you stupid fuck. All you did was clear the chamber and push another bullet up. I'm not even a gun owner. And I've seen enough TV movies to know all he did was put another fucking gun in the chamber, bullet in the chamber. Holy fuck. So that's a guy by the name of Carl, big Twitch streamer, used to be on SOAR, big content / esports team, lost his partnership with SOAR or sponsorship. They cut him from the team. He got suspended from Twitch for discharging a live firearm at his house. Girlfriend home, animals at home. He's really lucky that didn't go through the wall and hurt somebody or an apartment complex or whatever, right? Really, really scary shit. Obviously, lack of trigger discipline, the whole 9 yards. Gun wasn't, obviously, he apologizes, at least, thankfully, Carl was like, I fucked up. No ifs, ands, or buts. No, like, sorry if what I did might have offended you. Like, literally, don't do what I did, ever. I fucked up. And, he was drunk, or buzzed, I should say, hence the Coors Light on the table. Coors Light plus gun equals Twitch ban. And just, again, so lucky that nobody got hurt except for the G Fuel can. And is that really hurt? Is that really hurt at that point? Or
no loss.
We put it out of its misery, if you will. But yeah, just like, again, like crazy. That obviously got the Twitter sphere, talking about this guy gets banned, Alinity throws cats, doesn't get banned. Although we forgot to bring it up, but Alinity got bit by her cat this week. There is karma in the world. That cat took a nice chunk out of Alinity. I should have put that on the list to talk about today. But anyway, new G Fuel flavor, lead. Get the lead out. So yeah, do stupid tricks, win stupid prizes would be.
We got the cat.
Would be the topic. Oh, they got the cat. I love that we have a production machine now in the mix. So if you don't know who Alinity is, she's a Twitch streamer who threw this cat over her shoulder once, and then recently the cat decided to bite her good. Like, you pause it right on that moment. It bites into her skin good. So there is a little bit of karma. There is a little bit of justice in the world. She literally one day took the cat and like yeeted it literally over her shoulder. Yeah, there it is. That's the production team.
Ouch.
Look at that. Can we get enhance? Ian, can you enhance? Let's just see how good you are. Enhance.
No.
No enhance. All right. That's worth a try.
This is not
Anyway,
suicide.
that's awesome. That is awesome. So yeah, don't play with fucking guns. Double check that it's unloaded. All those things. Anyway, that will do it for this episode of the show. Thank you very much to djWHEAT for showing up. Thank you, Marcus. Great chat with you as always. Do that more often. Oh yeah, I guess I'll do a Q&A. God damn, I was trying to get out of here in an hour. Exactly 1 hour. Marcus, I still love you and thank you. Anyway, I'll thank you again at the end of the show. Let's do Q&A. Hey. And don't throw your pets. Yeah. All right. Q&A time.
All right. First question for you, sir. First question. What is your thoughts on Flashpoint bringing in a WWE writer?
Yeah, I mean, I read a little bit about that, but didn't really get the context of what they're gonna write. Like, so I don't know. I mean, obviously, they're not coming to write fake narratives like wrestling has and fake heel, like. So I guess the idea would be to help figure out, once they have a couple storylines, how to flush those out for talent to talk about and to make content. It could be scripts for teleprompters. It could be scripts for bits. Oftentimes people that are really good in front of the camera aren't necessarily really good off the cuff, right? So depending on the bits that these guys want to do at Flashpoint, maybe having a writer who can write for live television was a good fit for them. Again, I don't think they're going to be, coming up with completely bullshit narratives like Undertaker shit, right? So I guess we got to see what he writes, what he doesn't write, or she. Maybe it's a she, I don't know. I think a lot of people instantly grab that wrestling's fake. Why would you hire someone who writes fake shit? Well, because he works in show business and he's a script writer. And so, lots of reasons to hire someone who happens to work for wrestling. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with it, right? You put that guy in a room with Monty and Thorin, and he might be able to write the magic they want to create better than they can write it, right? That they then say back to us on the camera. We'll see. Hard to tell.
All right, next one. I got it's kind of a two-parter here. So you have Swag already being signed to a Valorant team. As teams start getting signed, what kind of contracts and what do you think is being offered? What do you think kind of structure is going to happen for this? Is it going to be like Riot or started, where it was open at first and then they took control, or what are you expecting?
Hard to say, so I don't really know. I think it's too early to sign anybody to anything, unless it's like a content creator, right? That already is a content creator that's going to maybe specialize in Valorant content, a YouTuber, a streamer type person. That kind of person for an org to pick up, who's going to kind of lean their content eyeballs and what they want to create towards the game is one thing. But I'm a pro. I was a pro Apex guy, and I was a pro PUBG guy before that, and I was a pro Fortnite guy before that. It's too early for that person. There is no pro scene. There's nothing to pay someone to be a pro in. And so those contracts shouldn't be happening yet. And if they do happen, they should be really short, because neither side should lock themselves into anything yet. Now, on the esports side, I think that Riot likes their franchise model of LEC, LCS. I think they think it works. I think the teams that are in it think it works. I would not be surprised if they don't let it float for a while and let everyone and their mother play with the game and TOs dabble, and then Riot, like they did with League of Legends, goes, time to come home. And they lock it down and they do some sort of franchisee closed system. Yeah, that's kind of my thought. Might take a year, might take 2 years. once the game's out. It might happen right away. But I don't see Riot living in a world where they are tight on one game and free market on the other, right? So I think they'll head towards a closed system eventually.
All right, now with all the events canceling with the coronavirus, and you have lots of freelancers and freelance talent just sitting around, is there any place in Arizona or something else that you think that they should be doing to keep their brand alive?
Yeah, I think they should all come to Scottsdale, Arizona and make really wicked, cool content with those guys that do not peak entertainment. All right. No more questions. All right. All right, folks, that'll do it for this episode of The Breakdown. Thank you so very much for watching. If you just caught the end of it, we restream late tonight, 7 o'clock my time here in Arizona. Also hits all our distribution channels tomorrow, YouTube, all the audio stuff as always, tomorrow morning. Thanks as always. Again, thank you, djWHEAT, for joining us. See you next week.